When it comes to Ultrabooks, the Dell XPS 13 and Surface Laptop 2 come to mind as some of the nicest and best on the market, but the HP Spectre X360 13-inch may be the best value out of them all. Today I'm going to tell you what's new and great about this laptop for 2019. Stay tuned. All right, the Spectre X360 has a special place in my heart. It's the first HP laptop that came out in 2015 that really convinced me HP can make a laptop that I actually would want. Since then, it's gone under quite a few revisions. I wasn't that much in love with last year's, which made some changes I didn't think was necessary. They made some more changes again this year, but wow, it's so good. This new visual ID that they went for with this gem cut design is really excellent. And it's just an amazing feat that their engineers have accomplished with it. There's a lot going on with this laptop. I still think it's probably the best value for most people out there, but there's still a couple things that really bother me about it too. All right, let's get to the tour and show you what's new with it for this year. All right, looking at the top of the Spectre here, you can see the HP logo, really nice design. And they do have the antenna line here for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. HP is still very big at putting it on the top of the display for a maximum reception. It does have a trade-off though, which I'll show you when we talk about the display in a minute. Look at the right-hand side of this device. There's a lot going on here. We have a micro SD slot, and well, this is new. So this is a kill switch for the web camera. So you just flick it over here. And what it's doing, it's killing the camera basically through an electrical circuit, which is kind of nice. You still don't know it's technically not working. I mean, when we try to use the web camera, it won't work, of course, but I'm not sure it's as good as a slide cover, but it's still a nice option to have. Over here you have a USB Type-C as well as a headphone jack and a little LED to let you know it's charging. That's also because you have another USB Type-C over here in the corner. Now these are full Thunderbolt 3 with 4 PCIe lanes, so it should be very good. And this whole corner design is super clever. It's not just to make it look cool. It's so when you have that power charger, it shoots off kind of behind the laptop, but it frees up the right-hand side, so if you're using a mouse, you won't have interference from cables. It's actually very utilitarian and pretty great design. Looking at the left-hand side, you do get the power button on that back angle again, and that's so you don't accidentally hit it when holding it in tablet mode. So while it may look cool, it's also, again, very utilitarian, and I like that a lot. You also have a USB Type-A for your old peripherals. Now look at the bottom of this device, very clean design here. I love that. You have the nice intake vent here. There are 2 fans on the inside, which is very good. The HP cooling system has been criticized in the past. I like this year's a lot. With dual fans, it just basically means you can have smaller fans that run a little bit more quiet as opposed to one giant fan that gets really loud, and it works very well here. This laptop never gets very loud at all. Sure, you'll hear it during updates and everything like that, but it's still a very cool and quiet system, and the thermals on this device are pretty nice as well. And speaking of elegant design, that air gets blown out the back here through this ventilation system, which again, I think just looks absolutely stunning. Now you take a look here to the display, and well, it's a mixed bag actually. It's a very good display. This is a 13.3-inch full HD. There is a 4K option. There's also a version where SureView, if you don't know what that is, HP SureView is a button you can hit, and it does a masking of the screen so onlookers can't see what's on your display. It started with the EliteBook series and has now worked its way to Spectre. Overall though, nice display. Bezels are, well, they're kind of thin and kind of not, right? So on the side here you have very thin bezels, slightly thinner from last year. And I do like how the top and bottom bezels are more symmetrical, so that's kind of nice, but let's admit they are kind of thick as well. Now part of that's because the antenna system is right there, and that's the way HP does their devices. They prefer to maximize throughput for the antenna system, and as a result here, it goes through the plastic. So you also do get a Windows Hello camera. It works pretty well as well. It's a dual IR lens system. It does stay on a little bit longer than I'd like after the effect, but that's a simple bug fix, I think. Regarding color accuracy, we're talking around 98, 99% sRGB, and around 79% Adobe RGB, and around 300 nits for brightness, which is actually very good. It's not the highest we've seen, but it's, you know, good enough. Overall, though, the contrast and display on this is just a really good screen. I really, really like it. It's just pleasant to look at. It is glossy and supports touch and supports pen, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a few minutes here. I just wish those bezels were a little bit thinner, but there you go. All right, let's look at this keyboard deck here. So you do get the audio system back here. So you get 2 speakers, Bang & Olufsen quality, just really, really nice speakers actually. HP has done a really good job of improving audio on these devices. You also get 2 more speakers on the bottom, which helps when you switch this to a tablet. Overall though, very good audio. I just like the way it looks too with that grill. I think it looks really sharp. For the keyboard, I've reviewed these in the past. I think HP makes some of the best keyboards on the market, and that stands the truth here. This is such a good keyboard, just really enjoyable to type on. Really good travel, probably about 1.2 millimeters. Now the arrow keys are a little bit small over here, but overall, great design. And I like the edge-to-edge look as well. Another change for this year is they put the fingerprint reader from the side to the top deck as where it should be. I think most people agree that's a great place for a fingerprint reader. So in case you don't want to use a Windows Hello system or you kill the camera and want to leave it off, you can use a fingerprint reader as a nice backup. Regarding the trackpad, really nice size. This is HP's elongated design. They've been doing this for a few years now. Very smooth glass, pretty good feeling, nice clickiness as well, but it uses Synaptics drivers. You knew I was going to say that. They're not using precision on this device, and while that drives me nuts, there's just no world where Synaptics is going to be better. For instance here, this is the Huawei MateBook X Pro, which does have precision drivers, and you can see here when I pinch and zoom, well, it is night and day difference with the precision drivers doing a bang-up job and the Synaptics one while just being garbage. So again, HP, I'm going to implore you, please change your drivers. Now, one great thing about this laptop is it does include a pen here. So here is the HP pen that's included. It does use N-Trig technology, so this is basically the same as a Surface Pen. If you have a Surface Pen, it will work here. It's a pretty solid pen too. It's great for note-taking and some mild artistry. It's not quite as good, I don't think, as a Wacom pen that they use in their higher-end devices, but this is still very good. And the fact that it's included in the box, well, it's a nice addition. However, there is no way to really attach it to this device, so you just have to carry it in your bag and hope you don't lose it. It doesn't have any magnets or any way to stick to it, something their EliteBook series does that this one does not. All right, let's talk about the power and performance of this device. Now, HP is sort of selling this as the most power efficient, best battery life for a 13-inch 2-in-1 on the market, and it's actually probably pretty true. We'll talk about battery life in a second, but let's go through those specs. So we're talking about Core i7-8565U. This is just pretty run of the par these days. This is a Intel Whiskey Lake processor. It's really nice. 15 watt, does clock a little bit higher here, running a little bit warmer, and with those dual fans, it actually runs very well here. You get better performance than last year. It doesn't quite run as well as, say, the Huawei MateBook X Pro, which just has a better thermal profile on it, but still a very good processor. Speaking of that processor, HP has new software this year called the HP Command Center, which is something they've used in their gaming series, but it's now in the Ultrabook. It's a stripped down version, but it gives you thermal profile so you can run it cooler or warmer depending on what you want, and that affects the noise. So if you're in an office setting and you say in a meeting you just don't want any fan, well, you hit that silent button and well, it's going to stay nice and quiet for you, which is really nice. But if you want performance, you can do that as well. Now when it comes to RAM, you get 8 or 16 gigabytes. It is DDR4, so it's the good stuff that we want. And the SSD, well, we're using Western Digital this time around with 256 gigs, so it gets very good performance. Of course, if you go to a 500 gig series, you're going to get a little bit better performance due to the dual and parallel nature of how SSDs work, so just keep that in mind. Now for graphics, nothing to tell here. Intel UHD 620, which is going to be pretty basic. Again, no MX 150 or 250. It's a trade-off you're going to get for this size and form factor. It is a teeny laptop, even compared to the Dell XPS 13. Now when it comes to battery life, HP's claiming 22 hours, which is definitely absurd. It's going to be around 10 hours depending on the form factor you get, whether it's full HD or 4K. The 4K probably around 8 hours or a little bit less than that. But yeah, full HD, you can definitely get, say, 10 hours out of this. It's very good battery life, and I like the performance out of it. Now, another big change this year is connectivity. So they're using the Intel 9560. It's gigabit class Wi-Fi on here. It's a really good performer. When you combine it with that antenna on the top of the display, which gives you those fat bezels, well, you still get very good throughput on this. I had very good reception, so that's really nice to have. There's also now an option for LTE. If you want that as well, you can go through HP's website and configure that. I'm a huge fan of having that option. It also has eSIM on board too, so it's a really nice modem to have. And that's going to be kind of the theme here with this device, just all-day power and all-day connectivity for wherever you are, and I think they've succeeded so far. All right, let's bring it all in, the Spectre X360. So this is still one of my favorite laptops. First of all, the design, it's just outstanding. It's almost too nice. I almost feel like they over-engineered the hell out of this thing. But I mean, I'm not really complaining about it. It just stands out from the market as just being a really elegant laptop, maybe even a little too fancy for some people. Now you only get two colors. You can get this dark ash version, and there's also now a bluish color as well that has a lighter, paler brass color. They both look really great, but there's no silver version anymore. I'm kind of okay with that. Silver keys, if you remember, just didn't work well with a backlight design. So this, I think, looks really nice. Now there's two things I can change with this laptop. Well, it's real easy. So first of all, those display bezels. I'm okay with the ones on the side, the ones on top and bottom. a little bit thicker than I would prefer, and I think many of you will agree with that, especially compared to the trends in the market right now. Everybody's going very thin here. So I'd either like to see thinner bezels, or more ideal, I'd love to see a 3:2 aspect ratio put into this device, or even 16:10 if we want to give them a little space here. I understand it's a little bit hard to get those parts here, but man, at 16:10 with this form factor would be totally killer. The other thing that really bothers me is going to be that touchpad. They really need to get off of those Synaptic drivers and just jump on precision. Again, it's just a terrible thing to have that otherwise mars basically a perfect laptop here. So HP, please, I'm imploring you, keep telling you, change those drivers. As to who should buy this device, well, I think anyone who wants a really nice convertible laptop. It's got great audio. It's a really nice typing experience. I love the display on this too. The pen is really good. Everything about this device just looks really sharp, and it doesn't look like any other laptop on the market right now. And I gotta give HP credit here for their new ID that they've done with this design here. I think it's just really outstanding. Pricing is also around $1,400, and you can go to Best Buy and pick one up yourself. So if you don't believe me or you wanna go check it out, just go to your local store and see it for yourself. But I think the pricing is very good. Don't forget, this is one laptop that basically does everything. Now, it doesn't have a GPU on it, and that's okay considering its size, but you could use an external GPU if that's really important to you. But you're not really going to find anything that does as much as this device does for that price and still looks that good. So for me, the Spectre X360 is still one of the best 13-inch laptops on the market, considering its price, its value, and functionality, and overall its design. It's just an awesome thing. Now, HP, you can still make it better, so please pay attention to that. Do it, and you'll have one of the best laptops ever created. All right, so that does it for this review. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or recommendations for HP, well, leave them in the comments below. I'll take a look at those. If you want more information about this device, you can go to the description. We'll have it there. And if you like this video, hey, why not give us a thumbs up, and, don't forget to subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Oh, man. Now, let's talk about the battery life of this device. Let's talk about battery life here. HP is claiming around 22 hours, which is of course absurd. That is using the full HD version with their new low wattage panel. Oh, come on, Dan.